Okay, today we're going to be working on lesson 103, and this lesson actually has two objectives, so they're going to connect. Today's lesson and tomorrow's lesson are going to connect. I wanted to break it up and really make sure that we understood this part, and then we'll jump into the second part tomorrow. So today's objective is that we'll be able to read and write 6-digit numbers. And we're going to be following along today. If you have a scrap piece of paper or even using your journal, maybe pull a piece of paper out of your journal, that would be helpful for this lesson. And just following along as we walk through that. So we're going to start by counting by hundreds, and I'm going to write those down on my board here, piece of paper here, as we count them. So just count with me. So 100, 200, 300, sorry, I'm shaking the board, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, yeah, I'm falling off my paper, 1,000. What would come next? Okay, so then we have 1,100, 1,200, 1,300, 1,400, 1,500, 1,600. Are you still counting with me? No slacking now. 1,700. 1,800, 1,900, 2,000. Okay, what would come next? All right, then we start back up here. 2,100, 2,200. I can't hear you. 2,300. 2,400, 2,500, 2,600, 2,700, 2,800, 2,900. Everyone say it loud. 3,000. Okay, I'm not going to go all the way up for 3,000, but if I were, what would I start with? 3,100, 3,200. Okay, and then I'd go on like that, right? So we can see that pattern here of when we add hundreds, and we got into our thousands here. So you'll see that I split my hundreds and my thousands, using this thing right here. Do you guys remember what we call that? We use our comma, okay? So we're using our comma to split out our hundreds and our thousands. Our hundreds are going to be on the right hand side of that, and then once we have that comma, whatever is over on the left hand side is going to be the thousands. Now, what was the biggest amount of digits that we got to on this counting? Well, let's count them, okay? Here's our biggest number. Let's count how many digits we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? And how many digits were we working to today? 6. Okay, so we know we're going to be making bigger numbers. I want to look at our place values. Place values are so important because it's going to change the value significantly, right? If I forget to put a place value, it can be the difference between $900 and $9,000. Ooh, that's a big difference. So I'm going to show you the place value, and I'm going to actually work backwards, okay? So I'm going to start with ones. What's this? Tens, hundreds. Okay, oh, and I squeezed back. This is what happens when you work backwards. Sometimes you don't leave yourself enough space. Okay, here's my comma. So I have ones, tens, hundreds, okay? Everything on the left-hand side is going to be in the thousands. So this first row after the comma is our thousands. I'm going to put TH, thousands. Okay. Then this row right next to it is 10,000s. So if we look at this pattern here, okay, ones, that's the 1,000s, tens, 10,000s. My next number over here, oh, I'm gonna get creative here. Problem solve. Oh, look at that, look at that. Okay, so then this one, what do you think that would be? We're looking at that pattern, that would be 100,000s. So these are the 6 digits that we're going to be working with, 6-digit numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're looking at 6 different place values. And so it's going to be important to know that and know that we have thousands, 10,000s, and 100,000s for how we not only say it, but also write our numbers. So I'm going to leave this up because I think it's going to be a good tool for us to look at. And so when I, if I wanted to do 5,280, okay, if I'm given 5,280, I hear just 1,000, okay? This 5 is in the ones. 5 is a 1 number. It's a 1 digit. So I'm going to write that number as 5,000. Okay, so here's my thousands. I'm going to write a TH there to guide us, okay? I'm forgetting my number here. 200, oops, so that's going to be what we've still been working with our place values, 280. And I know 80 is represented in the 10 spot with a 1 or with a 0 in the ones spot, okay? 5,280. Now, if I were to do 75,280, I want to show you how that would change. I would now go into my 10,000s. That means there's going to be 2 numbers before my comma. 70, oh, that's a tens number, right? That tells me there's 2 digits, so that's in my 10,000s. 5, it's just in our thousands, comma, should I just write it? 280. Now, what if I were to make it 675,280? Think about how that would change. I want you to take a moment. I want you to write what you think 675,280 would look like. Okay, got it? Awesome. So we're going to do, now we know our place value is going to now go to 600,000. So 600,000, I'm going to represent that, 100,000, okay, 675,000, yeah, breaking that up can kind of confuse you, okay, 75,000, okay, so when it comes to writing in the thousands, you're going to be writing it, you're going to be saying that number the same way you would in just regular hundreds, tens, and ones. We're just going to say the word thousand after it. And when we have that comma breaks up. That's basically our brain. That's a clue to our brain to say the word thousand. Okay, so 675. Now that I have that comma, I say what? 1,280. Okay, so those are our 6-digit numbers. Now, let's keep working on practicing those. Okay, so if I were to have I don't necessarily want to lose my key up here for you guys, so let me get creative again. We always have to be what, guys? What's that word? Flexible. We're going to be flexible here. Okay, so $6,288. Okay, I want you guys to write that down. I want you to say that. Now I want you to tell me what digit is in the thousands. 6. Good. What digit is in the hundreds? 2. Good. What digit is in the tens? 8. Great. What digit's in the ones? 8. Awesome. Okay, great. So that's a 4-digit number. We're now going to move it to a 5-digit number. Okay, I want everyone to write 14,408 on their paper now. 14,408. Think about what that word thousand means. What do you have to do when you hear that word thousand? Okay, let's check it. So the number was 14. Remember what I said? It's going to look just regular. But when we hear that word thousand, that's a good indicator that we put that comma there. 14,408. Is that what you guys got? Okay, check your work. Think about maybe where we got mixed up on it. We can always learn from any mistakes or any errors we make in our work. So I want you to try to figure out, and if you need to pause, if you need to rewind and rewatch what we just went over, go ahead. This is your time to do it. Okay, now I want you to write the number 2005. Okay, so for 2005, this one is interesting because some of these we're going to have placeholders, just like we have that 0 holding the place of the tens, so that this number doesn't become 480, it's 408. This holds and says there's no tens, okay? The number 2005 is going to have 2 placeholders where it puts that 0 digit in there to say there's nothing representing the hundreds or the tens. So I have 2000, right? So I have the number 2. Comma tells me that word thousand. Now, I'm not going to put anything in my hundreds or tens because the only additional amount I have than the 2,000 is 5. But what happens if I move the 5 right here? What number does that become? What's the value of it? It becomes 500. And we know the value of 500 is very different than the value of 5. So we're going to put a 0 there. There are no hundreds in this number. Now what happens? Why do we need that 0 placeholder in the tens? Are there any tens? Nope. And so what would be the value of the 5 if it was in the tens spot? It'd be 50. Once again, there's a big value difference between 50 and 5. So we need to put a 0 in this place value so that we know there's no digits that represent those. But there is a digit after it. So remember, when we never do digits, 0 digits before our numbers to the left because we always assume that's 0. The first number we see, we assume is that first place value. But we need to have place value holders with the digit 0 if there's nothing more than that to at least represent what this number should be. Okay, so now I want us to, we're going to practice a 6-digit number. So the 6-digit number is 620,103. I'll say it again. 620,103. Okay, I'm going to give you a minute to write that down. Okay, so 6 digits, right? 620,000. I want everyone to check. Did you write 620 just as you would if it were just the regular number? Good. And then we know when we hear that thousand, it's the comma. I don't want that comma to be confusing you, or just even that word thousands. You guys know how to write 620. You know how to represent that with digits. It's going to look the exact same. The comma is what adds that value of thousands, because that tells us that there are 3 place values after it. Okay, so 620,103. All right, check your work. Think about, oh, is there anywhere we got confused? Now, commas are so important. Remember, after the comma, how many, so when we have our comma to the right of it, how many place values are there? Well, let's count. 1, 2, 3, right? So there are 3 place values after every comma. That's what it's representing. So I'm going to write some numbers here that do not have their commas. And we're going to work together to add the commas in the correct places. So first off, how would you say that number? 2,651. So I'm going to count my place values. 1, ones, tens, hundreds. I know after hundreds, or before hundreds, I suppose, is my comma, right? Because 3 place values come to the right of that comma. All right, let's try another one. Okay, I want you to write that down with a comma. Excuse me. All right. So, first off, please say that number for me. 15,920. Let's check our place values. Ones, tens, hundreds, comma. Now let's say these place values. Thousands. You remember this one? Look up here if you need it. 10,000s. Great. Okay, we're going to do, let's see, we'll do one more. Write it down, adding that comma. All right, let's check our place values. Ones, tens, hundreds, good, comma. Oh, my marker went a little wild on me here, comma. I'm going to X that out. Okay, and then we have thousands, so we have a placeholder here, don't we? We have a 0 digit. That means there's no thousands here, but there are digits bigger than thousands because we have a digit representing the 10,000s and a digit representing, what's this place value? 100,000. Awesome. So you can see today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we worked on reading and writing 6-digit numbers all the way into our 100,000s. Tomorrow, we're going to be working with these this amount of place values again, but we're going to be including multiplication in this. I want to know how you're feeling about this. If you feel like, yes, Mrs. Kugel, I totally got that, I want to know that. If you're feeling like, ooh, I would like one more day of extra practice with this before we start doing multiplication with it, I want to know that too, so that I can really adjust the lessons based on what you guys are feeling at home. Usually you tell me in class, I could see your work And that's different now. So I really need you guys to be hopping on Padlet, have your parents sending me messages. If you haven't had a chance to get on Padlet, let me know how you're feeling about reading and writing 6-digit numbers, and if you're ready to move on, or if you need another day of really going through this practice.